hold on though. But like, look though. So how y'all feel about the Billboard's top 50 of all time?
Give me the top 10.
I don't like lists, so
Top 10. All right, we got Jay-Z at 1, Kendrick Lamar at 2, Nas at 3, Tupac, Eminem, Biggie, Wayne at 7, Drake at 8, Snoop Dogg at 9, then Nicki Minaj at 10. Let me go back to number 5 was Eminem. I just wanted to make sure that we was on the same page.
Okay.
And then they had
Who's some top 10 guys that didn't make it? That's like exclamation points beside him. Like
number 11, Kanye West.
Okay.
After Nicki Minaj, making sure we know Nicki's at 10, Kanye West is at 11, Andre 3000 is at 12. Then they got my man Cole at 15.
that's tough.
Man.
That's tough.
Then they got my man Ross at 50.
50.
Fuck out of here. That's how you know it's already. That's why I feel like it's just, you know what I mean. You can throw the whole list away.
So I think that it'd be good. I'm interested in hearing y'all top 5s. But before we get into that, it probably makes sense for us to set like some level of understanding what we're gonna base what we're talking about off of. And then maybe we can get into like that list and like some of the niggas that we is like, what the fuck.
I want to hear Johnny list first, bro.
But before we get there, what do we want to judge our top 5 off of?
One of my big criteria is like influence. Like how much influence did the music you create have on the next generation of rappers?
So for you, influence is the big one. So we'll put influence in there. For me, I know discography and quality within the output that you put out is really, really big. Do you have the classic verses to stand? And do you have classic bodies of work? No matter how many, do you have 1, 2, 3, whatever?
Yeah.
Do you have those?
And for me, it's really, and that's why I like it to be my list. This is not everybody's list. This is my list. You know what I mean? What I like to listen to.
We can't get mad at Billboard if we only look at it as
but they got Eminem at 5 though. I could get mad at
that. But that's they listed.
No, they are an organization that created the list for us to, you know what I mean, actually
to be fair in the organization.
Say it again.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, but we ain't talking about To Be Fair's list. We talking about Rail's list. This is my personal list.
All right, so you saying fuck all rubrics for your list?
Yeah, it's what I want to hear, bro.
All right, so
but I do agree. I do agree.
We basing out.
No, and I do agree with like the reach of your. You know what I mean? Did you like for me, Wayne? You see, he changed. You know what I mean? Jay-Z changed a lot. You know what I mean? So I do agree with that metric. And I understand when you talk about discography, but at the same time, just for me personally, it's like when I'm in the mood that's gonna complement the vibe that I'm trying to be in. Those gonna be the people in the list that I'm putting
Those are the people that have classic records for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But like you fuck with their discography. To me, I only want to set that because if we don't, we just gonna be talking over each other. And like, no, my bad. We're gonna be talking past each other. And it's gonna be hard to like even like why the fuck you got him there? Because if it's completely subjective, it's no way that we can have a conversation about it.
For sure.
So you said Johnny.
I want to hear Johnny.
The alley first.
Yeah, nah. And my list changed over time.
Well, we don't need the preface. We already prefaced.
Hey, bro,
let's get into the book.
Let me get because actually I had wrote something down. I'm switching it up like immediately, but I'm going.
Nigga got Eminem at 1.
Nah, you never get that nigga at 100. Nah.
What you got for Johnny?
Got it. But before I give y'all my list, I want to say welcome back to the To Be Fair Show. I am your host, Johnny P.
Over here, real.
It's Q.
And we back.
Yes, sir.
And I got, for right now, today, February 12th, 2023, my list go Jay-Z, Kendrick, Kanye, Wayne, and Drake.
I ain't a bad list. Go through it one more time.
Jay-Z, Kendrick.
This is in order too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jay-Z, Kendrick, Kanye, Wayne, and the
Drake.
fifth one was hard, but I'm saying Drake.
Yeah.
I'm saying Drake. That's it's subject to change, but right now I can stand on that right now. I like that.
Okay.
I ain't mad at you.
Right.
I feel like.
Do you get any deductions for that?
You get deductions for sure.
Oh, with Drake, it's just that powerful. Okay, all right, I like that.
With the deductions.
With the deductions, that's over Biggie, Pop, Cole,
I said one of my big things was influence. One of my big things was influence too. So I think Drake has had a influence on the culture. And
on the culture, you believe?
Well, music.
Well, I'll definitely say
sonically, that. not culture, not what people do, but
I think it's most. Well, never mind. I don't even want to go there. But
and that was a tough one for me. I sat in debate.
Hold on, I want to write down your.
I'm gonna ask you. So Kendrick at number 2. To me, even when I seen the Billboard jump, I'm a Kendrick fan. I fucked with Kendrick since Overly Dedicated. It's hard for me to put him at 2. 1, output wise. 2, it's hard for me to think of like a super fire verse, maybe more than one that he's had in the past like 6 years.
I think influence wise, he's a person that, I mean,
who sounds like Kendrick? Well,
his influence isn't necessarily sonically, but he's had like, I mean, a lot of the things we talk about today and stuff he's been rapping about.
Yeah, he done had some dope accomplishments too.
I mean, he talked about like even in some of his first music, the Black Panthers and Bobby Seale and like High Power and stuff. So, for me, the influence is more the music when it comes to Kendrick. And plus, I just think bro is dope, man. And I
get it. Kendrick is Kendrick. Mm-hmm. To me, I don't know.
Give us your 5. What's your 5?
I'm gonna give you my 5.
What's your 5?
Personally, Jay is number 1 still. I think that he stood the test of time. Like I still listen to Reasonable Doubt, and I could still listen to the newest record that he did. God did, and verses all got beans, got gems in it, motherfucker. Number 2 for me is Andre. 3000 is to the day. Like it hasn't. It's almost not been a year that he hasn't still consistently over the past 10 years dropped a classic verse that everybody stops and rewinds and listens and re-listens, and you can almost have like a full dissertation about. Not to mention, you go back to '94 and you can listen to ATLians, you can listen to Aquemini, and it's classic verses on there. And everything in between. Like we done seen him jump on Walk It Out and go crazy. We done seen we done seen him get on with Bun B and I Choose You, and everybody singing word for word the entire verse.
Bro, they disrespect. Hold on, what was he at again?
I was actually playing that.
They had the man out the top 10, didn't they?
Out the top 10.
Out the top 10.
To me, if we just speak about rapping, he's number 1 for me. But if we just put in the full thing, he's number 2. Mm-hmm. Mine subjectively is I got Cole at number 3.
I fuck with your list. Go ahead.
For me, all right. So there is points off for not writing in like the group creativity piece. So Kanye and Drake would be inside those spots, but they got to get pushed back a little bit. So Wayne.
So you bro? You got them all in my list, bro.
Wayne and I'm gonna go Nas.
I'm not mad at your list, bro.
I'm gonna go Nas. Ross is peeking in.
That's a pretty.
Biggie is right there, but damn, maybe. So like to me that 5th, it could be Pop, Biggie, Nas. Ross is right outside of that.
I ain't mad.
That's me.
I like Nas better than that. As far as
you ain't have Nas on your list.
No, he ain't make your 5. Bro.
He's on my.
He ain't make your 5.
Honorable. He's in my 10, not my 5.
Dog, bro.
You got real.
Then I think that we all in agreement. Jay-Z has solidified the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
That is just what it is. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. It's not up for debate at this point. Mm-hmm. At this point, it's not up for debate.
You did it over 3 generations,
bro. When you do what has happened. When a person is able to contribute what he contribute to the actual genre as a whole, bro, he is the GOAT, period. There's nothing else to be said about that part. He is 1. My 2, this may be controversial, but this is my fucking list. Mm-hmm. My 2 is Wayne.
Okay. I don't think that was controversial.
My 2 is Wayne. Wayne, bro, do you know?
I just think you got to dock him a little bit for the past 9 years.
Yeah.
The nigga it seemed like he just ran
to that last product.
And then he got to that goddamn cliff and he jumped the fuck off.
I ain't fault though, bro. You can't get it all.
Man,
all I'm saying, his output has not like the 2000 to 2010 output into the 2010 to 20. I don't think it's really
one thing I can say. But the thing is that the inspiration that he provided to everybody is still there. It still sticks.
Oh no,
It's
if you
still
talk
there.
about impact,
It still sticks. His impact is definitely still very important to the culture. So
For sure.
got Wayne at 2. And this is my preference here. You know what I mean? My preference is going to be Cole over Kendrick.
Okay.
That's my preference.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Cole at, what's that, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's getting tough. When you start getting on the back end of the 5,
You start questioning yourself.
it start getting rough. Then I'm going to go Andre.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to cap my list off. With Ludacris. I'm just playing. You remember that nigga used to be my favorite rapper back then. But I thought that was hilarious. I guess that was more of an inside joke or anything.
Through Ludacris.
Nah,
And then I'm gonna go.
I think that we don't put enough respect on Ludacris and Wayne.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't laugh because
But the top 5 though, you Stretch Armstrong with some shit at top 5 though.
You was getting your subjective back.
Hey, where was he on the list?
Who? Ludacris. I don't know. I ain't get to see the full
He might
50.
not have made it.
He might not. If Ross is 50, Ludacris ain't in the list, bro.
Give us that 5. Come on, we ready.
The 5th. And just to give I respect, even though you talked about him not writing his own shit, but when we do hear his pen is there. And
Drake.
His shit's a vibe. I'm gonna give Drake 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna give Drake 5.
I ain't mad at it.
You know what I mean?
Is T.I. on this list?
He gotta be on the list somewhere.
Like, I'm sure.
He gotta be on the list somewhere.
Because I'm like, T.I.
You
not on
put
this
T.I.
list,
over
bro.
Ross?
Yeah, I see. The thing is, they disrespected Ross to begin with.
Yeah.
Ross need to be moved up a good bit, and T.I. definitely needs to be on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Ross needs to be moved up, and T.I. needs to be on the list.
I'm going to make one change. I'm going to drop Drake off my top 5 and put Andre in there.
This nigga.
That's good. I'm proud of you, bro.
No, stay strong, nigga. You was there.
I listened to the argument. She done a good argument, a good argument.
No, I feel it. I feel it.
A good argument.
Don't have a biased opinion of your opinion. I get it.
I mean, if I
Always
hear something
willing
that
to
change my
change.
mind, it change my mind. But if it don't, it don't. But I think those were solid. You know, I fuck with both of your top 5s.
But hold on, let's make sure that everybody understands that Eminem didn't make either 5.
Nah, he ain't making the top 10.
Didn't fucking happen.
Might not even be the top 15.
Excuse my language. I'm trying to do better.
Yeah,
He didn't make
You
it.
start digging into it, Eminem going.
Yeah, but it had Cole
He's
at
5.
15, bro, and had this man at 5.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
different.
Y'all think any old rappers like from like the original people like deserve a top spot somewhere or anywhere like up in the high
Rakim.
echelon?
I think Rakim.
Me too. I like
Rakim.
Rakim. I think KRS-One went.
KRS.
No, that got to put some
Big Daddy
respect on
Kane.
KRS.
There's
Yeah,
a bunch
facts.
of rappers in which had direct influence on like that mid.
my favorite
Absolutely.
old rap.
and like shit, like we can go try.
Big
Yeah.
L.
Like
Facts,
you
yeah.
Phife Dawg, like there's definitely rappers,
Solid
especially
verse.
once we hit
Yeah.
around 90ish. Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
I mean, LL actually transitioned well too.
I
Yeah,
like,
I
I like
agree.
Big L too.
Oh, Big L is one of them ones. We know that.
But I don't know if he, you know. But,
Shoot, even with
Yeah, he
Nas,
just didn't have the discography.
right. But,
even
but,
with Nas, I don't know if y'all listen to AZ, but AZ's like one of my favorite
Yes.
rappers, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like,
Hey, Tone, we was listening to that shit on the way back from the mountains. That motherfucking the Flyers.
yeah, AZ, my guy. You know, like,
What I was gonna say is that I think that, and I ain't trying to be in the way, but I thought that right there, your question kind of transitioned the conversation very nicely. So I just want to
Okay.
pose a question before we get into the next discussion. Do you believe that the entertainment and do you believe in the damn, my bad, in the evolution of the arts? Do you believe that the arts have evolved or the arts in sports? Do you believe in the evolution of that thing? Do you believe that they laid the groundwork and that as the years continue that the new generations are running with it and making these things even more intricate and
Yes, I do. I think this probably can segue into the next one of the next conversations in itself, where yes, and this is why for me, it's not important to compare eras apples to apples, right? So like an artist right now, whoever the new fire cat is about to come out and have all the bars and crazy shit like that. When you have a history
JID.
of JID, for example. You know what I mean? Like that's a great example.
Exactly.
You literally have the history of every of 40 years to kind of draw from, gain inspiration. It is a lot harder to create a thing, right? But the natural evolution of humans, of people, of sport, of entertainment, any skill set, is that you continue to draw inspiration from and you create from that. So I think naturally anything, like, I don't think that there's really much of anything that was better back in the day than what it is now. Because of right now, we're able to dissect and draw a lot from that.
Let me ask this, because I agree with you. I think, evolution is a natural thing, whether it's art, people, society. Everybody takes and builds on what the previous generation. Even in your family, your people, your parents leave you something, you take that and you build on it, you leave it to the next generation.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
Sometimes you got to unlearn some of that, and then kind of.
There's certain things you got to put it in perspective and take what you take, leave what you leave. But my question is, what is there any, like, because it's easier now, we got technology and everything, so it's easier to be great. The era that some of those, especially like when I think of like Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and to do what they did, even like some of the artists, the Motown artists and stuff, to create some of the timeless music they did with the lack of technology they had. Does that make them? What credit should we give that? The fact that they created them classics. I think it was a lot harder to do, and it was a lot of them.
Yeah, when you actually had the instrumentalists there, you had to actually be in the studio together, and you had the instrumentalists.
I think it's a conversation that goes to both, even in sports, like Bill Russell, Chamberlain. Them boys ain't have the workouts, the technology, nutrition that a LeBron James has. And Wilt dropped 100. Ain't nobody still come close to that in the NBA, and he did it 50, 60 years ago.
Right. In which I think this is when it gets hyper nuanced, right? So like if we go like we could take it to the sports thing, and I think that there's almost this concept of like the modern era and the pre-modern era. I think that even when you get into like the GOAT conversations and things like that, what knocks Wilt and Bill Russell down a little bit is the fact that they played inside like a pre-ABA and what is it?
ABA, NBA.
Yeah, pre-ABA, NBA, and there was maybe like 10 teams in it. So then the level of talent that you played against and the amount of teams that you did, and even pretty much everybody made the playoffs, X, Y, and Z. The pool of talent that was drawn from was a little bit smaller.
And what would you say that the ratio between races in the during that time were, as far as how many black players played on the team versus how?
There was a lot. The ABA was like mostly black.
Yeah, mostly black. NBA was mostly white.
Okay.
NBA, eventually, but they switched because the Celtics was one of the first teams.
They had like the black team. Yeah.
Right. But so then it depends on the era that we're starting to get into.
Right.
Most people put the modern era around Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. That's kind of where like they put it at, and that's like one of the major transitions in it. That's almost like the modern era of basketball per se. The 70s, it was that transition. Like maybe it was like 73, 74 when the ABA transitioned over it, and I don't know the statistics off the top of my head,
right?
But I believe around that time it became a more black dominant league. I remember that during that time there was a lot of like race animosity towards it, especially even the merging of the two leagues. Yeah.
Yeah, nah. Okay, and I guess that
76. That's what
76.
76 when the
merger.
The merger. Okay, yeah. So before that, there was going to be more. The league was predominantly white. As far as the NBA,
I can't speak.
I don't know if it was predominantly white, but there were black players in the NBA at that time.
No, I'm not. But predominant doesn't mean that they weren't there. It just means that it was more on the other side.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Okay, we don't know. Okay, so it's fine not to know the answer to it. You know what I mean? I don't know either. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah,
it's something I'm definitely gonna look up when we get over here. But I don't know right now. But there were a lot of black players in the NBA before the merger. I do know that. Okay, and so my question would be: is that what do you feel like LeBron dropping? You know what I mean? I guess that was the reason why I kind of posed the question to kind of streamline into that.
Okay.
So like, what do you think that accomplishment means? Do you think it holds really any merit, or does it?
Yeah, I do. I think that it depends on what conversation that we're having. Do I think that it holds like a bunch of weight in like the GOAT conversation? No, not necessarily. Do I think that it's like an amazing accomplishment when it comes down to like him and what he's did, and he's done something that nobody else has done? For sure. And I mean, I think before we even get into it, because I think this usually segues itself into like a GOAT conversation.
The GOAT debate.
Right, a GOAT debate where I think, before I even give my opinion, I think, hey, LeBron James, these are the pleas. I'm going to cop the pleas right now. It's early. Amazing father. I think that in general...
You said father?
Yes, yeah. I'm about to go down this because it's really important, because a lot of people think that if you don't...
Yeah, he is. That's what you already know. He finna shit because.
Listen, I just told you. I
when you start there, that's what threw me off. You said father. I'm like, you just said father, dog.
Because the first thing you're like, damn, why you hate LeBron so much, right?
He about to skip Baylessy, bro.
But no, I think, hey, it's Black History Month. I think that they are a shining example of what a successful, wealthy black family should look like.
For sure.
His wife
high school
played
sweetheart,
like exactly the role and space of like the most amazing supportive wife ever. I was just having a conversation with Taj where like she really be out the way in her own little bag, and to where like it's never like an issue, a drama, a controversy dealing with that. They set and intentionally have raised 3 boys that are doing amazing. They got an amazing daughter. Like it's not really many chinks in the armor. Again, like his philanthropy, off the court shit. Like LeBron is an amazing person.
Yeah,
like it's nothing to take away from any of that shit. So
you
now,
already know.
Once we get into the GOAT debate, though, he my number. I think he revolves around like 2-3, but I'll probably put him at 2.
Who else is in there?
Right there at 3.
1, 2, 3.
I think you have to put
Jordan,
Kobe and Magic is kind of right there. Magic inside that 11-year span, the nigga ran it up. He definitely got more chips. He got more like he has a bunch of mores than LeBron. Like you can put that there, but I think that all in all, I'm gonna put LeBron over Magic.
And Magic 3.
So you got Jordan, Kobe.
No. Jordan, LeBron,
and Kobe.
Yeah,
then Kobe.
Magic 3. Magic 3 or Kobe 3?
Kobe.
And then Magic.
Yeah, probably Magic. Yeah.
So I got a question. See, you know, I ain't really I don't really watch a lot of sports. You know what I mean? So you can take my commentary is really kind of just like from, you know what I mean?
Okay.
A feel type of thing.
Okay.
And so how many years was Kobe in the game?
20.
Yeah, it was 20.
20.
Yeah.
How many years LeBron been in the game?
20.
Okay. So, but you had Kobe third. So, like, I was wondering, you know, people making the whole idea that, like, this really don't mean nothing. It's a longevity award. I'm like, but why didn't Kobe do it before he did?
Well, all right.
Well, the thing about LeBron and his longevity.
This is just a question. Like,
no, I got it. But like, LeBron's 20 looks totally different than Kobe's 20.
Yes, it's
like LeBron's 20. Like
Kobe didn't start his first 2 years in the league either.
Yeah, that's another.
But coming out of high school,
Kobe came off the bench
with like Kobe, and maybe it was one person before him.
And then it was also a big man game. The game also was more centered around big man then too, whereas now it's like more guard.
It was like that when LeBron
when he first came. No, that is true. When he first came in, it was still big man game.
Different eras
for sure.
But and been great in both of them.
And been great in both of them out of high school. The nigga expectations was different. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think that when Kobe came in, how they treated high school kids coming out of high school was also way different. Like when you look at like Tracy had to sit 2 years and then he went to Orlando and went crazy. Kevin, I think he sat a year pretty much, and then
Kevin
Garnett.
Okay.
Like the era of how they like brought NBA high school kids in. But again, I think that LeBron has consistently been like when you look at the longevity of his career, I don't think anybody has done that.
No. That hasn't happened. From high school.
Why I put him at number 2. I think that I don't put him at top because of everything that we've ever judged GOAT conversations off of Jordan has that over. And so for me, like that's where it's
So
like,
what do we judge GOAT conversations off of? You
typically, all right. So we typically would go with awards. So we would go with
Championships.
MVPs, defensive player of the years.
Right.
Like we can go steals, steals awards, points per game. Then we go into the finals. Then we'll go into again impact during side, like whatever your peak era was. And to me, all of those things, Jordan wins. Like he has more of those or has accomplished more.
See, that's my issue with it.
I was just about to say, and I disagree.
Oh no,
I was gonna let you get it off and then just double back. And I disagree.
Well,
I think that what we think is that GOAT thing is like the I am the guy. Just me. I'm going to win the game. I'm going to be better than. It's more of a I don't believe just how I am. So like to me, the GOAT makes the people around him better. It bleeds out of him into everybody around him. That's just like being a leader. Being a leader, it literally breeds leaders. So in my opinion, I think that what a lot of people give Jordan was the fact that dog mentality, that Mamba mentality, well, I mean, no, I'm talking about just because at the end of the day,
because you have
there's an argument, but listen, there's an argument to be made that no, you talking about I get what you saying.
Like make people better, you would have to do
okay.
that.
Well, then that's not just that's just one piece. You just gave a couple different things. So it's another. Okay. So anyway, we also can look at the time frame in which Jordan was playing. Okay. So what I would want to do is I would want to know, because like I said, I didn't really watch a lot of sports. You know what I mean? So what was a time? Who were the guys that were around his age? Mm-hmm. That were actually dominating as well during that time. That was around his age, because I know that there was some older guys that were the guys.
I want to build on that.
There were some older guys that were the guys, mm-hmm. and then he went once he got to where he was. He was one of the younger. Mm-hmm. He was the younger guy that was hooping amongst some older men.
Is that well? All right. So I think that's a really good space to unpack it, because I've heard this as like a typical rebuttal. So like,
before you go,
I just want to answer exactly what he asked. He asked the question, so I think it's fair to answer it. So if we just talk age, Bird and Magic it's a 4-year age difference between them and Jordan. They came into the league in 79, 78. Jordan came in 82. Mm-hmm. Those are the guys. Those are all his same age.
You said those are all his same age?
Those his peers.
Yeah, like that's his class. Like, I don't think anybody would argue. Anybody within a 4-year span would be within your class.
They was in school together.
Yeah. So we can start there.
So he had just graduated when he became a freshman, is what you mean?
Well, close enough.
All right. So
go ahead.
Because then we can't really compare much of like LeBron's people outside of D Wade, because of Kobe would be 5-6 years. T-Mac was inside the league like 4 years before him. Like Vince, like it'd be hard. So if we actually just have a regular conversation, like I think that you would put them, like if you're within 4 years, I think that whoever the dominant people are there. So I think like we can start with them too. Okay. You would say Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, I give Isaiah, like Isaiah is one of those ones that I was like, yeah.
But you don't give Magic and Bird?
Yeah, I give Magic and Bird, but I mean at the same time, it's not comparative to me though. Like to me,
they were winning like before he was.
Well, they came in the league winning. So just because you won your first 2 years doesn't mean that.
Well, I'm just saying to his point. I'm not saying I don't think they better.
So you don't put them inside like within Jordan's age group.
I personally do. I can understand why he would think that they're. So I understand why he would think they're a little ahead, because they were like those guys before Jordan was even there.
Okay, so
and then before Jordan became Jordan, they still were there being themselves. And then when he became Jordan,
but what does that statement even mean?
What I'm saying is,
Jordan came into the league averaging 30, put up 60 in his first playoff game.
Oh no, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's like he didn't just like suddenly he came in Jordan.
So he started his first year. I thought you just said Kobe didn't start his first year.
Yeah, Kobe didn't. We was talking about how high school players was brought.
So Jordan started his first year.
Yeah, Jordan came in averaging 30 and put up 60 on the Celtics.
In his first year. Yeah, nah, then I could.
The championship Celtics at that.
Larry Bird called him man God or something like that.
Yeah, but Larry looks suspect.
Listen to everybody talk about Larry. Larry was one of them guys.
He was a trash talker.
Okay. So
Like,
let me ask you this.
Larry,
No, he definitely was the trash talker.
Larry used to talk shit, and he
So let's
said
go back
that
to the
about Jordan.
evolutionary piece.
No,
Right? So let me ask you
I
this.
want to actually ask because I didn't even get into it. Niggas forget how dominant Dominique Wilkins was. Him and Jordan before Jordan won, like he was the other nigga exactly. I think him and Jordan a year apart, putting up 28 to 30 a game. But look, at the
And you
stats.
talking about 4 people, right? We at number 4.
I'm just naming. I keep naming. We can go Clyde Drexler. That's another one. Another wing that's putting up 25 to 30 a game.
Yeah, man, you talk about other people. You can talk about
Hold on,
Patrick
we can
Ewing.
talk about Alex English. The nigga scored the most points. Another wing scored the most points out of any player inside the league. Nigga averaged pretty much 29 to 30.
Yeah,
Like,
I think. I guess my only point.
Again,
Alex English
To me,
was-
it seems.
niggas usually
that.
ask that question and don't actually
Alex
think
English
people
is
have
that
the answer.
dumb.
No. I wanted to answer the question. I wanted to answer the question
I
because
can keep going. Like Jordan wasn't the only wing in that.
yeah, but what I'm saying is, and like I said, I haven't watched a whole bunch of basketball, so I've heard a lot of different commentary, and I've kind of built my own opinion based on said commentary. And I watch a little highlights and shit.
Okay.
I don't really care about balls flying and going in holes and shit. Like I don't really care about that. But at the end of the day, damn, what was I just lost my whole train of thought.
Because it's hard to defend it. I get it.
No, it's not that hard to defend it. It's still, to me, at the end of the day, to me, LeBron
Give me
plays
anything that's non-subjective of how we judge players.
Hold on, can I say
I think
this?
that's the easiest way.
Can I say this? I think the whole debate when it comes to the GOAT and why I think like when people say, I think the categories that we use to say somebody's the GOAT, I think that's the problem because I think just like rings
Using different metrics.
isn't a good.
So what would be the metric if we like? So if we can only go by subjective shit, then I think we can kind of like rattle off anybody to go. But is there literally no rubric? And to me, like as long as we just keep a rubric, it's hard to say that Jordan's not the GOAT. No matter what you judge it off of. Again, we can go MVPs, we can go defensive player of the years, we can go all like LeBron has more All NBA first teams, I think. But if we go All NBA defense,
Bro, and I'm gonna just be honest. At the end of the day, bro, what fucks me up when I be looking at footage from back then, from those times, those eras, niggas was on the ground off of pump fakes.
niggas was on the
Yes, niggas was falling on the ground off of pump fakes. So like let me finish what I'm saying.
Of niggas now being on the ground off of pump fakes. That is like
happens.
this is a
That's
bad,
crazy. So like,
Happens today too.
so like
hey, then yeah, if this happened today, I ain't really
Nigga, one
seen.
of those-
I'm talking about. To me, it seems just like when I watch like because during it's February, right? Michael Jordan's birthday this month, so they usually run all of his games throughout every like on ESPN. I don't know if they still do it, but on ESPN they run like all of his games.
Okay.
During the month of February, and so like I found myself like in barbershops and shit during the month of February every week, and that's what be on. And to me, it's like the game is like literally, it's evolved in a place to where that's why like I understand what you're saying when you're trying to compare, like trying to do a comparison between apples and apples, because it's not really, you really can't compare.
It's a
So
different
we
game.
kind of just went into the debate just because I know it's just a fun debate. I love seeing Skip and Shannon have this shit because it's fucking hilarious. But at the same time, like I think that like if Kyrie was in the game back in the day, that would be crazy.
right, but
But that's why you don't do the apples to apples,
Right.
and that's the only reason why I'm saying that is to say that the reason why, because of the fact is evolution does happen, and
do you
people
think
bring
that
things from.
greatness transcends generations. Like I think LeBron is a great. To me, Jordan and LeBron are great examples because they did it in 3 decades. LeBron James played a completely different version of basketball than he does right now. Completely different.
Oh yeah, he had to evolve.
And like you seen it. He evolved from like what he first came into to what he did in the 2010s and what he is now. These are 3 different players. I think that greatness across the board transcends. And I think that you put any player from the past, any of the greats, and you just give them today's training. Or like you put any player if you put Kyrie into back in the day, but you take away any knowledge that he's learned, like he's still going to be a dominant player. It's just going to look different. I think that if we just speaking about you was able to get nuanced training, then I think like, of course, if you put somebody that's highly skilled in today, then it's going to look different.
And then also just the foundation that was laid for you to to build yourself on.
Right.
So
So
that's
I don't like to drop this person in there. I think greatness is usually greatness across the board.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree. That was just a fun, you know what I mean? Especially, I don't even watch the shit, so I just wanted to goddamn get you hot real quick. I see you be on the what is it, the intranet with so it's a specific dude that.
Oh yeah. Oh no, listen, I actually picked a fight with him yesterday because I was like, we might have this. Let me go ahead and get my points lined up to hear some of like the typical LeBron fan rhetoric, so I can already have some ducks in the
Oh, so he was prepping for this shit.
Man, doing
you got
He was pulling the goddamn Johnny on my
You
ass.
got to.
I was gonna lay it out. I thought I was gonna put you in the box, but you had already trained.
Did his homework. Here's one. He's the greatest number one pick of all time any sports. Like,
Damn.
I think so. I agree with
like, so I mean, I think that's part of it. He's the number. He got the most points all time. He's number 4 in assists. He's about to cross top 10 in.
News, why the fuck did you just let me sit here and talk that long?
Because you was talking, bro.
Hey, you supposed to tell, hey, bro, sit back. You know what I mean?
You was talking. So I mean, there are stats that go in LeBron's favor when you come to.
No, it do be like total
greatness.
numbers because he has been good for a long. Like
I think that matters though. You can't just dismiss like being really good over a long period of time.
I don't think like if you put somebody at number 2, is that like accurately dismissing something?
I think, and that is the issue. And I think that is the issue with LeBron fans. We do get really triggered by not fucking, but by hearing number 2.
So we got a guess here. Trey, you got a little input to this?
Yeah, like for me, like I'm definitely one of the. I guess when you talk about it's the rings, you know what I mean? Like, of course, but I mean I agree. My goal would be
Real nigga right here.
One would be I'm gonna go 1A, 1B. Is
Okay.
Jordan, and I would say Kobe because he the closest thing. Can't nobody emulate.
When it comes to rings,
I'm just saying go.
Well, I mean,
well, if you go off rings,
if you go off rings, he is the
it's
Bill
Bill Russell,
guy.
yeah. So you can't just use rings though. I don't think that's a fair metric to use when it comes to GOATs.
I think we talk.
But I would never take Bill Russell over Michael Jordan.
He got 7.
Like,
But he wasn't bus driver.
You know what I mean? But,
you done heard the bus driver conversation, bro. He wasn't the bus driver.
But I think it's a good place right here to put a pin in it.
Well, shit. Sounds like a good time for meme of the week. What you got, Johnny?
Oh yeah, we got one. Off Mike sent us one.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good. It kind of goes with a couple themes we talk about here. So I'll let Tone hit play.
All right.
To the people who think modern is an insult, the stuff that we talking about is factually where we are as people right now.
Yeah.
So when you call somebody modern or you say you're traditional, what you're doing is refusing to acknowledge the things that have happened to black people, not just in your life, because you think somehow what you've done in your life has allowed you to evade what has happened to all of us. And you haven't.
Wow.
I don't care how much money you make, family.
Yeah.
What's actually modern is that black women have had to stand on their own in roles that they probably shouldn't have had to stand in. And black men have been attacked and kept from the roles that probably would have allowed our black women to be soft. That's a fact of where we are, not nobody's opinion. So when you call somebody modern, you calling somebody knowledgeable of the current circumstances of our community.
Of the current circumstances, what about now?
If you refuse to change, that means you're not the man you think you are. Because a man knows his surroundings and adjusts accordingly to survive and keep the best interest of his people at the forefront. You're not modern, you missing the point, bro.
If you're not modern, you missing it. Because that is current. What is happening now? This is what we in now.
That's an interesting take.
No, I thought that was, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it too much, but I thought that was definitely good because it speaks to a lot of the shit we talk about on here, modern versus traditional. We talk about what, black people have been through in this country, and I think that was a good, at least from his perspective, he brought both of them together. Now, I consider myself probably technically more modern, but, I think that is because, and he spoke on it too, women not being able to play their roles, men not being able to play their roles. So you got to, like in basketball, sometimes you ain't got the right pieces. You got to go positionless ball. You got to go with a smaller team, a lot of big men. So I think, it's just modern traditions, modern relationships are just people just getting the job done, however it's necessary. But that shit was fire though.
And so his opinion was that if you're not modern, what was it he said? If you're not modern, you're
you're not taking into account, I guess what's.
Oh yeah. What has happened to us over time?
I don't necessarily know them.
Yeah, I don't really agree with that. I think that, I like to get into fair spaces to have conversations. And the moment you demonize the other side and like you make it like this extreme wrong thing.
That you're right. That you have the right answer and the other one is the wrong answer.
Right. Like I think that there's perspectives in which some of them work way better just given circumstances. But to pretend like only because you have a traditional mindset of how you set up your family, that it's ignoring all the things of the past and like the current situation. I wouldn't say that. And of course, I'm way more modern leaning. I think that's a bad characterization. And to me, I try and call it out on both sides.
Well, I think it's a generalization more so.
Yeah. But I do think that the part that he said where this is where we're at in current times, and it's just the evolution of what relationships look like. I think that's the real part. When you start having to like try and demonize the other side, you don't have to do that part.
Right.
But
that's fair.
I do think that in general, this is where we're at, and we can point to a bunch of historical reasons why. And yeah, no, like I said, I agree with some of the points. I just don't agree with the mischaracterization of like, if you're not modern, then you're doing something wrong. Because it's no different than like a traditional nigga saying, if you're modern, you're doing something wrong. Like,
well, that's what I was gonna say.
That would work for you, bro.
I was gonna say, I don't think having traditional values necessarily means you don't know what's going on, but it's like in today's world, what makes sense for the majority of people is a modern
right, and that's
now.
If you're
not in that percentage of what's most people, and you got the means to be traditional, by all means, be traditional.
That's what I was going to say.
You can't take if you're not in that position. That's not necessarily your playbook. You don't need to be running that. So
facts.
So in my opinion, I think more of, and I don't know exactly what he defines traditional as or modern as. What I would say is that like, okay, so matter of fact, I'll just pose a question. If you could make enough money to where your old lady didn't have to work, would you allow that to be the scenario? If you made enough money and that's what she wanted, would you allow that to be the scenario? Or do you think that at the end of the day, even if I could pay for everything, you should be working to build your wealth aside from, or not even aside from, you should be working to build your. And then I also think that it makes it a little bit different when kids are a part of it as well. If you all should have children together. I think that kind of makes it a little bit different too. But the question is that if you are able to provide all of the needs of the family and actually, let's say the needs and the wants that make sense, I guess, I don't know, needs it. If you're able to provide for your family in its entirety, would you still say that your wife needs to go to work?
No, I mean, I think that's whatever she wants to do. If I got it like that, I'm in a position to let her. If she wants to work or if she got something that she's passionate about, go ahead, knock that out. But it's not a necessity. I got this. So, I mean, at that point, that's the beauty of that, like a situation like that. It's whether she wants to or whether she doesn't. So if I got that kind of coin,
I want to answer you.
If I got that kind of coin, like if she goes to work, I got enough to take care of whatever daycare, whatever needs if she decides to go to work. Because that's going to also bring in more money to the pot to where whatever daycare, whatever needs to take place because of her going to work, well, that's nothing.
Right. And so I think that you put it at a space in which, in general, like all your needs and wants could be good. I think it literally just goes on to whatever that woman wants to do. Like I said, I think that a more interesting conversation would probably be asking women if they have a job that they love and that job pays $600K, let's say that, right? And the guy that you're talking to makes maybe like $60K. Is the requirement that he still goes to work, or is it that he, has the ability to pursue a dream, the ability to like invest in himself to get to like this other really big mark?
So let me ask you this: is it that traditionalism And in traditionalism, you have gender roles, and then the more modern is just really not having gender roles.
Well, I think that
It sounds like based on like even in that line of questioning, it sounds like the traditional thing would be where if a man was the provider, then the traditional thing would be that his woman doesn't work.
If a woman provides, is it still traditional?
Exactly. So
right,
like
a woman, like you can't have like it couldn't be traditional with the woman making more. But to answer your question directly, so within tradition, like in essence, a tradition as you define it has very specific like requirements to it. So yes, like there are specific gender roles, there are specific responsibilities, and specific duties that have to be carried out, and there's expectations that come with those specific things
based on gender.
Yeah, like based on gender across the board. Like you can even go into like a lot of it's based even inside like a biblical sense, where it's like the order of I forget the family or God or something like that. Whereas what is it? God over man, man over wife, wife over kids, and like that whole thing. Like there's a very rigid structure to what a traditional family looks like. And I mean like that's kind of where you would base what you're saying off of. Like it yes, inside tradition there is rigid structure, because that's kind of what a tradition is. It's something that's been done over extended periods of time, over and over the exact same way.
Right. So, and just to answer the question, just to make sure I understand your answer, you're saying that traditional means gender roles versus being non-traditional or modern means the roles are not necessarily gender based.
Probably, you could probably say that.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood your answer. Were you gonna say something, Tosh? Oh, it looked like okay. Well, shit. Well, I guess my take on it, on what he said is, I mean, like I agree with you 100%. I don't think that there's like a right answer on either side of it. You know what I mean? You kind of just go with what works for you. You know what I mean? What essentially worked in my marriage was me stepping up in that traditional sense and her playing the more the gender roles being more defined. You know what I mean? But I would understand that if the scenario wouldn't be based in that, you know what I mean? If the two people both had passion in careers, then hey, you know, do it however it works for you.
Yeah, like shit. What happened? We woke up, we both folded the clothes. But then she cooked and I vacuumed the floor of upstairs and downstairs. Like we just working together just to make the shit happen. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, it's not like we both like. There's no reason for me not to be doing some shit. Especially if she's doing some shit. And anytime she's doing some shit, I'm always like, damn, what could I be doing? Because we both are like equally yoked inside wanting to make sure that we, in Bob's words, put 100-100. We can say 50-50, however you look at it. And to me, like, that's the biggest thing inside most relationships. No matter how you work it out, nobody wants to feel like they're being taken advantage of. And everybody wants to feel like the other person is putting in how much the other person is. No, like in figuring it out how that feels and how it looks like to you, that's
gonna be different for everybody. Yeah. No,
that's my thing. I think everybody. I don't think people should get so caught up in like the roles, but I think, you know, just like everybody is unique, every relationship is gonna be even more unique than people are, because it's two different unique people coming into relationships. So what me and my lady do might not necessarily work for you and your lady, or you and your lady, and what, you know, Tone do with his lady, it might not necessarily work with whatever.
Niggas on the pod growing, I ain't gonna lie.
No, we've been in this bag
this
for
conversation usually would end up being real yelling at me.
I know my opinion on it.
Tone something hot. Somebody got something hot.
I'm just saying, I've been thinking the whole time that like this traditional modern stuff was kind of like some bull crap anyway. Like like when the institution of marriage came out, or like when it started, or whenever people started getting married, it wasn't like that was the modern marriage at the time. Like however marriage worked was modern. Like so it's like, you know, like even using them terms, I think it's kind of stupid anyway. Like just apply what worked for you. That's how I kind of look at it.
Like the buzzword thing. Like we always
modern marriage.
Yeah, because I mean, even let's just say
technically all marriages happen in modern times.
In modern times, so that junk is dumb.
I mean, I'd love to be to a point where I had enough money to take care of my woman traditionally. Like, I think that's the goal for a lot of people, but until I get there, what reality looks like is most time in most relationships, we gonna have to put 2 and 2 together and get 4. You know, that's just the world we live in. But like, of course,
or 1 in 3, or like
however you get there,
however
you get there. But I think that's the goal, or that's the thing. There's certain shit that's gonna get done. Now, in reality, I'd like to have all 4 of them, and like whatever happened, it don't really matter. But until I'm there, or until we get there, you got to understand that like you can do way better, with an actual partner.
I do got this question, since we still talking about the traditional modern stuff. Do y'all think that a man and woman can be in a traditional relationship, as far as like what y'all define it as, if the man is not the financial, like the main person making the money?
No. But one thing about it is we still talk about traditional relationships as if it was like back in the 60s. But what I'm gonna say is that traditional relationships has also evolved. So just because as a man that's in a traditional relationship for quite some time, there was no idea that like I never cleaned up or anything like that, or I never put clothes away or anything like that. So the thing is that as a person, like I may have worked all week, but this is my off day. So, and I see something that needs to be done. It's not like I'm just going to sit there and just wait for you to do it while I'm doing nothing. You know what I mean? So the thing is that there's a human aspect of these titles that makes it not what it was or what we perceived it to be, because I don't know. I wasn't, around. I didn't see a traditional relationship growing up. So I don't know whether he was helping with anything. I have no idea. Like, as far as kids being taught, I don't know if he was ever stepping in and talking to the kids and, trying to promote any type of mindset to the kids. So go ahead.
I guess so what you're speaking about is like some small wiggle room within the idea of what it looks like. But the overall framework is still the same, correct? Where a guy is being the main one that's providing the resources. The woman is the main one that's adhering to like the home in general. And what you're talking about is like kind of like humanizing, like what it actually looks like. And
right.
A guy might sometimes do this, sometimes might do that.
Right.
I don't think that that's necessarily when people are saying like a relationship is no longer traditional. But once the woman does start working,
for sure,
and starts introducing finances, and it becomes like a little bit more of an equitable space. But my thing is that why is it like we really get so tribal about things for no reason?
But most women,
it's not a problem. Like, you can have values of gender roles and different things like that, and not be inside like a traditional relationship and still be a man.
Right, we saw that in the last interview with Bob.
Right. Like, sometimes we get really dogmatic about being attached to like labels.
For sure.
Like, we don't have, like, it's okay.
That's just stupid.
Like, in general, most people are going to be in some version of a modern relationship. There's very few people that have the willpower and the finances and like just like a partner as well that will allow for like what a real traditional relationship ends up
especially when you're talking about a partner, because like a lot of times all that comes down to you got to have a partner that's willing to play that role.
Okay, and then also our women. I'm gonna say this last. Let me just say this last point real quick, and then I'm gonna just kick it to you, Tone. I don't think that like in reality that like there are many women in our society today that are groomed to be in traditional relationships. So you're gonna find that much less likely. You're gonna find that.
But that's a different conversation.
I was gonna say we start.
I was gonna
say a lot of white women are.
Yeah, no, but I can't speak about. I can't speak about that. But
it's false.
Only thing I can say is that, like, at the end of the day, in today's time, the goal is not to for a lot of women. The goal is not to raise the family. The goal is to accumulate wealth themselves too. The goal is to build their careers and things. And I'm not saying that I'm against that. I'm just saying that the idea is that
I think you can have both. I don't think people chase wealth at the sacrifice of their family.
No, but I mean that the thing is that, and I guess maybe I worded that in a way that could be controversial. But what I'm saying is that I think that, and I think a lot of men too don't want to be. They weren't groomed as well to be. We don't see it. We don't see it. So like,
this is the fair space of it.
We don't see it, and so like the idea is that also that hell, the jobs that were actually making men money back in the day, technology has actually pushed them to the wayside, and then so men had to start learning what they would have called a more feminine job, like these call center jobs and these office space jobs. Those weren't, so we had to actually evolve into the man that is going to be able to make said amount of money.
Soft skills.
Yeah, these softer skills. And so I think that we're in a society where we're not really groomed into the traditional spaces. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but that's why this idea of like the more 50-50 and all, that's why these ideas are becoming more popular in today's time. And it's because of the fact that and that's why in some instances you can listen to what Bruh said and agree with some of the things that he was stating, because there is a level of history that goes into where our current space is and why it is that we
and so
have relationships the way we do.
That where you're at is like a small little spot that I wanted to interject at, because when you look at history and how it works, I think that this is the important part where you said that women now are chasing wealth. I don't know if it's as much chasing wealth as it
trying to pay the bills.
Chasing not even that. Well, all right, so not chasing wealth as much as it is chasing the ability to be an autonomous person that doesn't have to depend on somebody else, right? To where like nobody has specific leverage. And if we look at this inside a historical space, I was watching something and they made like a really good point, and I hadn't put it inside that perspective yet, in which they were speaking about how a lot of times we tell women that they should be like their grandmamas, or they should be like their mothers or their great grandmothers. But what we don't look at is like, so again, I'm not even like the biggest person on the feminist movement and all that shit. Like I'm fairly critical, but those movements came out of a space where women didn't have any leverage to leave a marriage when they was getting raped, they was getting beaten, when like they were subjective to like having to just deal with and shut the fuck up because of like you can't leave right now, and like there's a high level of leverage, and like the women. A high majority of women, especially black women, entered the workforce based off of that. And like to negate that idea of where it started from, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it's I just don't think that it's speaking with a fair perspective. Yes.
Well, what I was just gonna say, I think just because you have the ability, or even in today's world, you know, just because you got enough money, because it even goes to like some of the stuff I was watching the Andrew Tate documentary. Just because you got money and stuff. Nowadays, as a man, even if you are in that percentage that can provide traditionally, that don't give you license to be an asshole.
Facts.
Like some of our
that's like the biggest red pill thing down. Like. They usually use it as leverage.
But like what you said about like some of our grandparents is like some of our granddaddies, as much as some of our grandmothers held it down, some of our granddaddies were assholes
for sure.
That's one of those things where I think, you know, when it comes to those traditional values, you got to understand why you're doing it. If you trying to be a traditional person just to control a motherfucker,
and I think that is generally
that don't mean shit. But if you in traditional relationships because you like to be a leader and a provider, that's something totally, you know. Then that's what you really need to be in it for. But if you just got money and now you want somebody just to listen to everything you say and be an asshole, just like some of our granddaddies, it's like, what's the point of? I see why people don't fuck with traditional values.
I was about to say that though. Even some of the stuff y'all talking about with these traditional relationships, people keep talking about old people's relationships and how women was sitting there like miserable. I don't think that was the case for everybody's relationship. I think there was a certain amount of people, and we tend to focus more on the negative aspect of stuff.
And the movies.
No, I'm not talking about movies. I'm talking about
no. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you.
No. What y'all talking about is a power dynamic. Today, women can go get a job to work. Back then, they couldn't.
Can I finish what I'm saying? The whole point I'm trying to say is today we still sitting there looking at relationships as we started applying this stuff as finances, and I really think it's got to do with the male ego. I don't think as far as leading in a relationship, I think that's what traditional really is: the man leading the relationship between a man and a woman. Period. I think that's the traditional scope. It's a man being the leader. Sometimes the man might doggone be down. Sometimes the man might be up. That doesn't take away his leadership position, and that doesn't mean he shouldn't keep doing the things that he says. Like, okay,
can you be a leader inside a modern relationship?
You said, can you be a leader inside of a modern relationship? What I'm saying is,
It
I think
sounds
y'all
like-
putting some of these some traditional relationships into the scope of being modern, and they're really still traditional relationships. Like the man is still technically the leader. You're putting this stuff in the modern. I would say modern is like where you're getting these new relationships where you got two women together, two men together, these different type of relationships like that, people who are going in different scopes. But typically a lot of women are still seeming to be looking for the same thing.
So let me ask you
a
this.
man that is a man. Like I think there are certain things. I remember hold on, just let me finish this. I remember there was if y'all ever watched A Different World, there was this time Whitley was sitting there talking about, like, Whitley was asked the type of man that she wanted. And I had to look this up so I know exactly what she said. She said she wanted a man who's educated and enterprising and ambitious. And somebody was like, what about rich? And she said, a man like that is never broke. That right there is the truth. You're not broke if you if you educated, you ambitious, and you enterprising, you're going to always be going for something, even if you got the downtimes. I think the whole scope of everything about the traditional relationship is that I still think men is supposed to lead in a relationship.
So let me ask you this: if a woman makes more money, or she's the provider, could it still be a traditional relationship?
Yes, I don't
she
think
allows herself to be led.
If she allows herself to be led,
Okay.
her making more money does not influence the fact that
I
she
asked that
is
same
being a
question
leader.
earlier.
And I think that's a part of men's ego. Men have a problem with women making more money. Women is entrepreneurs out here, bro. Women be doggone going to get it. Most of my clients are women, so that's why I don't even be saying I don't agree with that stuff. Most of my clients are women. They make more money than the men, but it doesn't mean they don't like. I know a lot of them who married. It don't mean they don't let their man lead because they make more money than him.
All right, got you. So I want to jump in that. So now, just so I'm clear, is that the only parameter of being in a traditional relationship is that the guy leads.
No, you're not asking me. This is what Tone said.
This isn't like
This is not what I'm saying.
All right, so for you,
What I'm saying is the man is the leader. The woman.
Yeah, because he's looking at me like this is what I said. This is what I said. You're talking about that.
And let me put in the reason.
I don't put the new consensus. I'm just trying to make
Yeah.
Johnny, I think this would be a good time. We have a little bit of an audience here. We do have Valentine's Day coming up.
For sure.
I would love to hear I don't know, like some questions from
We got
some of the beautiful ladies that we have.
People in here.
We have one of our favorite reoccurring guests, Big L.
Big Ellie.
L.
We
What
have
up? What up?
Mike Taj.
That's the first lady. First lady of the 2 B fair.
referred to as Mama Taj. So
And it's all Cam Taj.
All Cam Taj. Miss Taj.
We got a boy Davenport in here too.
but not Devin, he a man, bro. Come on.
Oh, okay.
We
I'm just saying, man. You shouting out the guests. Somebody don't we got.
Devin been on the mic. We done introduced, bro.
All right, I'm just saying. I want everybody to get their.
So all right, ladies, it's we dropping on Valentine's Day. We want some good questions from y'all. What y'all got for us?
Alrighty, so this is, what is my Instagram name? Taj Not Seen Here?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
That's not seen.
I barely use. All right, so it's Valentine's Day, and you know the marketing for Valentine's Day is all about the woman. What does she want? How to make her feel special. It's one day out the year. However, given so much of an emphasis on this particular day, how would you guys want to be treated or feel loved, etc., like that on Valentine's Day?
As a guy,
Yeah.
you funny. Yeah. I didn't know you meant like. I mean, I just pay attention to me. See what I like. I mean, I'm not a complicated person to where like I can't necessarily like appreciate something, but it has to be some effort, you know.
So give me an example of what you like, because that I don't know.
I mean, I like a lot of the shit. I mean,
You spoke first, so you hopped in the
Specific.
blender. It's all
I mean,
right.
specifically,
we gonna get in the blender too, but you was the first vegetable.
nah, that's cool. I mean, it just depends. I mean, like I said, I do like a lot of stuff. It could be taking me to a movie I wanted to see, or a restaurant I wanted to try, or an experience. You know, it's just. I mean, there's a lot of things. If you know me and pay attention, it'll probably be a clue that I throw out there, to where it's something. You know, it ain't necessarily one particular thing that I need this and I'll be happy.
So if Lucky Lady right now was well, how about this? What's her name? We got a
No.
To Be Fair page favorite, Cancer.
Hey, man,
07 something like so.
hey, I mean, whatever.
It would be on the cheeks.
Right. So, but not like if I'll make it. So what would be something that a person, because you still went very generic. Like what is something that you
like
would
something
appreciate
something I like
on
right now,
Valentine's Day?
like today.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Well, shit, like and shit, you can take me to Super Bowl or something,
This nigga that actually crazy shit.
Bro, that shit didn't happen. What are you talking about? Like, she can't take you to a Super Bowl on Valentine's Day.
I mean, but it don't gotta be on Valentine's, but it's just.
We talking about Valentine's Day.
But that's on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
most people working. This weekend we could do something. We could go to the mountains or something like that. It ain't necessarily gotta be something on Tuesday. I'm not a big, but it would probably be something this weekend or whatever weekend.
But what she's asking is, what would you want? Not something for the both of you to go to the like. What would you want? What would be something that you would be appreciative getting?
I don't
for
know.
Valentine's Day.
I don't know. Maybe that's the answer.
And then that's okay.
Like I'm trying to answer. Like I'm trying to fit. Like shit. Okay,
Is it because you've never had it before that you're not too sure what you want?
And that's
I've had like different gifts that I've liked before.
Okay.
I've done stuff that I've liked, but as of like right now, today, what would I be most appreciative of? I wouldn't know. Like, I mean, I could say different shit. Like, I could say, "Oh, I want to do this." That's why I threw the Super Bowl out there. Somebody want to figure that out, like whatever. But I don't necessarily like know what's going like. Oh man, what I appreciate the most,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I hop in next. I think that where you were at and where it took you a long time to get to was fair. The idea that in general, it's the idea that in general as guys, we don't specifically know what we want as a gift, as a token of appreciation. In general, and I think that is really fair to kind of go with. If I try to answer it, because I'm similar, like I'm an extremely simple person. Like it just take like 2 or 3 things, and that's like I'm fairly happy. If I was to think through it, just some of the things that I like I'm a sweets person. Everybody know that. Snackums, yeah. So that's cool. Like something good to eat. I'm always good for something good to eat. I fuck with the sushi. I fuck with Thai. I fuck with like shit like again, like something good to eat. I fuck with a good drink. Like however that comes. That's something simple and easy. Like these are like the basis of me. What else do I fuck with? To me, that's about it. Like more times than not, I'm a homebody, so I don't give a fuck about like if I just have to go out somewhere and do something. None of that shit is that important to me.
I will say experiences are stuff that you do remember a lot longer rather than like something material. Like an experience is something like you made me like do something that I wouldn't necessarily like.
Nah, that's a fact too.
Used to doing.
Make me get out my comfort zone.
I'm gonna probably remember that a lot longer than if you got me like a bottle of my favorite, liquor, or got me a shirt, or got me something. The experience is something that I would like. Oh damn!
If I fuck with the experience, not my bad. You talking about you? I'm talking about me. My bad. This is you.
But I'm saying even if I didn't fuck, even if it was something, I'd still be like, oh, I remember that one time I went and did that bullshit, and it's still a memory. I fuck with memories though, whether good or bad. Like it's still a memory that happened.
And I guess for me, and I'll go on kind of. I agree with what Q said. Pretty much the idea of like not really being so used to asking. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It comes from a place where we just generally go with whatever. You know what I mean? Most of these holidays are not about us, and we accept that, and we've been accepting it our entire lives. And that's just the real part of it. But what will make me happy, and then I'm gonna go into it. Kind of goes into what you said, like know me. You know what I mean? Don't get me something that you want to get me. Get me something that that's gonna put me in a place where I want. So an example of that would be like, that I'm doing like my shirts. You know what I mean? It'll be dope if you ordered, you know what I mean, a couple shirts in different sizes to where I can just something that would help me get from one place to the next, because that means you care about you care about what I love. Yeah. That the thing aside from my job and all of that stuff, that the thing that's trying to get me from one place to the next, like what I want to do outside of the man. Like I think that would be you prioritizing me and thinking of something that would be beneficial to me.
So if she invested into so what you saying like invested in you a little bit. So like that's the idea of buying something else. Is there anything else that you would say would be something like a good gift for real?
For me, yeah. So like, for me,
what's something that you would enjoy?
I like cologne.
So a
nice cologne. I like watches, which that's gonna take you up to another little place there. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And the thing is, so like with me, like
Fuck with all that
at this point, like I'm at a spot where like if I know you like something, I don't mind putting a little bit more bread behind it because it's more of like, but I don't want it to be an expectation. You know what I mean? I don't want you to expect that every time this day come around that I'm going to spend X amount of dollars. But at the end of the day, it's not about the dollar figure really. It's more about
doing something.
It's more about. So like what I would want is that.
This is good.
And it depends on. Also, you look at like the dynamics in different scenarios. If you are in a traditional space, then you'll be looking for something different than what I'm talking about at this point, or at any point. Yeah. Because somebody, go ahead.
But no, I was gonna say, like, because I didn't want to transition back into that space. I think that what you said was good. Where you said, in essence, you appreciate gifts, and that's kind of what. Because you said like a nice cologne, a nice watch.
Oh, yeah.
Like those are gifts. Like Johnny, it wasn't gifts, it was experience based. Mm-hmm. Like these are like, even if we go into like the
love language and shit. Like, I get what you're saying.
I think both of them is great.
Yeah.
Tone, you got some heat. What's up? What you want, bro?
I was about to say, shoot, I think was dope, or I was about to say more so one of the best gifts I received before, like being pampered. That's like one of the best things. Like, a woman run some water for you, like let you soak your feet, sit back on the couch. Like you done got washed up and clean. You just sitting on the couch, soaking your feet, eating wings and stuff like that in a row.
So hold on, let's
give me that.
That sounds fire. That sounds fire.
So Paul, it's clear that Tone's love language is physical
touch.
Oh yeah.
Rub them corns.
You said what? I like spending time. I'm really keen on like I like simple stuff. So it's like I'm a homebody. I like everything to kind of be at home. We don't have to do it. Like, I just want to have everything kind of there. So like stuff like being able like I do like being taken care of. Most of my women.
It's acts of service.
I do like that. I can't lie.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Maybe I wish we had a camera to see that smile. Whatever.
I mean, I've been fortunate enough to have some decent girlfriends. Like. Literally, that's why it's like. So it's not like I have a problem with kind of knowing what I've actually got to experience that and seeing like women who do good gifts, and it wasn't like a money thing. It'd be like the stuff that I really loved is like she washed my hair, she cleaned my nails. Like my nails is dirty and she cleaned my nails. That's dope. Like
and I would think that a dope thing is like the idea of being a priority. On said day, like let's say it wasn't Valentine's Day, because it feels really weird to really be talking about what you want for Valentine's Day, it feels really weird. But like on a Father's Day,
it definitely does.
You know what I mean? Yeah. On like a Father's Day, like, bro, just you ain't in general to me, like I ain't used to getting nothing for none of the holidays. You know what I mean? So like that's just the norm. But like at the end of the day, if I agree with you 100%, because one thing like I noticed about myself as a man too, and that's a part of like the traditional space too. I like to be taken care of too. So I like the fact that I'll do all of the stuff that's, you know what I mean, to break, you know what I mean? I go like I was in the army while all of this shit. So like I'll go and do all of the oil changes and the plumbing under the house. I had to change the plumbing. I'm looking at doing a new fence now. Like I'll do all of that. But when I come back in the crib, that's where I feel like, yeah, like I think, you know what I mean? I want you to be like appreciative and respect me enough to appreciate the things that I actually contribute. And that's really, really, at the end of the day, they've been saying it for a minute. It's really respect for what the contribution is. And I don't care what day it is. If you decide to actually push that more this day than another, it's going to be appreciated more than any gift regardless. That's just the fact of it all. Like I literally just like, hell, you give me a day where you care about me all day and what I want to do. And it has nothing to do with like how you feel about what I want to do. You know what I mean? Just like whatever you want to do is just like, you know what I mean? No, that is a great day on any day.
A coupon? No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, them shits be. Them shits expire though, depending on who the girl is. Them shits expire.
For me, y'all said some really great things. I definitely agree with Newton. Experiences. For me, it's just like make me feel it. Like the day is about love, right? Not necessarily just it's love in general. Whereas, you know, like you said, it definitely is about females, but it's, you know, make me feel love. Like, I'm gonna do my best to make you feel it. Like I'm gonna go out my way. I go out my way on a regular Tuesday, not necessarily Valentine's Day. So in that way, however you can make me feel it, like I'm big on words of affirmation. Just tell me. So if I feel like you tell me that, 'cause I ain't gonna tell you unless I feel it. So when you tell me, like I believe it.
Niggas be in love too.
That's dope. That's dope.
Like it be just only women that be in love.
And the crazy thing is, what he said was powerful.
Be in love.
The idea of hearing it, hearing it is very important.
Yeah,
hearing the appreciation, hearing it is something that, like, I think that
that's
goes
something you can internalize.
under.
Like somebody doing something for, it's hard for you to like necessarily like internalize what they really mean. Like it feels good to you, but I think when they say it, you can actually take it and internalize it.
And I also think as a man, we kind of just try to figure out what the real angle is all the time. We're really trying to figure out whether this means this or this means that a lot of the time. So like you just point blank saying it, that is telling me that I appreciate you and I appreciate you. And you saying it is a lot. And then showing that too is, you know what I mean? That's another thing. But like, I think that the first step is actually telling me, you know what I mean, directly, like how much, you know what I mean, that you appreciate me. And we're going to go, what's up, Taj? Got one over here?
No, I was just going to piggyback off of kind of where Johnny was going with it at first. I actually was watching a YouTube video earlier with two guys, and no, it's nothing like that. In the conversation, they were talking about how the little things that their women do for them are like the biggest thing for them. So one guy gave the example of like he had a charger and adapter for something that he was using. She ended up using it. She like cleaned it and put it back, plugged it back in, and he was good to go. And for her, it was like, oh, it's no big deal. And he was like, for me, that was everything. Like you took the time to clean it, put it back where it was, and put my item back on it to make sure it was charged and good to go. So I do feel like as women, for us, I think women expect the world. I mean, that's just kind of how we are, right? So for us, the little things.
As y'all should.
Yeah, right. So like the little things of like, oh, you know, I just got him his favorite drink from the store. To us, that's not like a big thing. But to y'all, it might be like everything, you know? So for us, it's like doing little things. We kind of overlook. It's like, oh, it's nothing that big. But for y'all, it like means absolutely everything. So
yeah, because
that's all I had to say.
I agree with you 100% because our expectation is just not really high. Our expectation is not really high. So it's anything that you do above. I remember getting a Christmas gift one year of like a matter of fact, they sitting right over here. I got a KRK speaker for one year for Christmas. And bro, a chick got me that, and it was like I'm sitting there like, how am I going to reciprocate this? Like, I'm a person that like I always feel like, okay, well, you did this for me, then I owe. You know what I mean? And I don't necessarily think that that's like the best place, but I think as men, we generally kind of feel.
But the opposite is true too, because I've gotten terrible gifts, and like, I've felt a way about like this shit, and then like, like you know. Like I'm just saying, but the same is true. Like you give me a bad gift,
but no, I think that what you were saying, but I think that that's a good space to be in general, where like if somebody gives you a good gift, you feel like you owe, right?
Yeah.
But then once you give them a good gift, if they feel that same pressure, then now it becomes a positive cycle.
Yeah.
Of like whatever that might be, like it's just a loving culture within itself. Oh, damn, this person did this. Let me make sure I'm on my P's with this. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's more of like the space that you want to get into. And as long as it's reciprocated, I see what you're doing.
You know something that's crazy now? We talking about Valentine's Day, and I kind of was on some. I'm at work, and I tend to try to find myself any chance I get. I want to make whatever I'm doing or thinking about completely not work. Something that I can build, because I don't really feel like at this point that I'm building myself in this place. So I want to make sure that during that time too, I also get a chance to build. And so I was thinking about, I just Googled like what is the antithesis of love, and it said selfishness, right? And I put that in the group chat, right? The antithesis of love is selfishness.
Where was the antithesis, meaning like the direct specific
opposite?
Meaning? Oh, the opposite.
Opposite. That's what antithesis means. It's opposite. So the antithesis of love, is selfishness. And that's why I put in the chat. By definition, if that is a fact, then that means by definition, love is defined as selflessness.
Yeah.
So, and I put that in the chat. I wanted to hear what y'all had to say about it, but nobody said anything. But at the same time,
that shit was deep. Like I
yeah, so,
still don't even know where. I don't know if love is like.
Love being defined as selflessness.
I don't know.
So the person that you love that's the person you're selfless to.
I think it's still part of.
But this was the reason I said this. Let me just take it all the way. The only reason why I brought that up was because of when you're thinking of that gift, as we're sitting here talking about it, right? And everybody pretty much went around. What it is that it's the knowing of me and you being willing to do what it is you know that I
make me happy.
It's not about because I received gifts. Mm-hmm. I received the gift where it's like, why did you get me that? You know what I mean? Why did you get me that? Like, you got me some tools? Well, no. Like, why did you get me some tools? That's like the correct answer. Like, but see, the thing is, at the end of the day, like, I get that, like, when something's broken, I have to fix it. But that idea.
If I'm gonna give them some please, bro.
No. I'm not saying. I'm not. And at the end of the day, and I'm not saying acting like. I'm not acting like that gift didn't come in handy. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you end up appreciating it, but it wasn't one of those selfless gifts to where it's like it's not about me. You know what I mean? It's not about me. Like, just if you know, like, a person shouldn't. If you're gonna get a gift for the person that you're with, regardless, if you're gonna get a gift, then you might as well, hell, if you ain't going to get something that's specific to the person, get a gift card to where they can pick it out themselves.
Well, but if you're going to give them something if you don't know your partner well enough to be able to pick a gift out that they don't like.
Well, all right, so I ain't need about to say, I think that we getting on a crazy little pedestal real quick. Where I don't believe, like, I just know, like, perfect gifts. And like,
oh no. Go ahead.
Right. So like right now, with like even the idea of like overly critiquing a gift, to me, typically in general, now I apply this to like whether it's gifting, whether it's parenting,
you already know.
Whatever it is, it's typically the thought, and if I feel like it comes from a sincere space.
But that's what we're critiquing with gifts is the thought.
That was the whole point of the question.
No, it's critiquing the thought of the gift.
So yes, that's my part. So if the thought is like, damn, is it perfectly for what I want? Is different than like this person thought of me, and they took the time and consideration to get said thing. Mm-hmm. And like, because I'm pretty sure a woman at some point could have said that I missed the mark. And shit, I might have Googled some shit like, what are good gifts? This one you get 2 bucks. What is a good gift for a guy? But like, again, hey. They might have like been brain defunct and had thought like, damn, and especially with us as guys, especially a guy no, not that.
They don't communicate that way.
Go ahead.
As guys, we don't explicitly say things that we like and want either.
Mm-hmm. Do you not say what you like? Not that you want it, but you don't think that you didn't.
No, well, this could go back to what Newt was saying. I expect you to know me. I'm going to drop cues to you, but I'm not going to tell you what I like. So if you're trying to drop cues, now everybody pick up on that. So
yeah, but at the same time, if we've been in a relationship where like,
do we have to say it?
I'm a simple person,
mm-hmm.
So typically most of my needs in general are met. And I don't like express like crazy wants. Most of my wants are very like theoretical and like I just like conversations and shit like that.
Right.
You can't give me good conversations. So like if it's a woman that's looking to give me a gift, I'm probably extremely hard because of the things that I want. I kind of already gotten, and I don't like speak outwardly of like, damn, I want a material this, I want a material that.
Right.
So. In general, you might be defunct a little bit of like exactly what should I get you because of like you kind of simple and you don't say a lot.
But I can tell you this. But I can tell you this. This is the thing. This is the thing. See, like
I'm saying I'm simple.
No. But see, you can say that you're as simple as you are, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't understand that men we understand each other in different ways, right? Mm-hmm. But what I can say is that like a dope shirt that's on the time that you be on, that's literally like something that I can see that you do for yourself. That's the thing that's the thing. Whatever I see you do for yourself.
Like
no. If she got him a dope shirt like on some shit, he'll fuck with that, Joe.
But what I would appreciate is the act of it. I'm also extremely particular. So like, you can get me a Malcolm X shirt that I don't fuck with, and
motherfucker won't have the
I might not wear it a lot, like because like I've actually gotten gifted like clothes and items and shit like that. And I just fuck with it like just off the strength, like damn,
You did it for me.
You did it for me, and that's the overall point. Is that all right? Like you did something for me. Did I wear it a lot? No, but I fuck with the idea, and that's the point that I was making.
But never mind. Let's go to
Is this second question?
So yes.
All right, there we go.
to Big
Let's
Ellie.
change this up.
yeah. Okay.
So I want everybody to take a
It's the
moment.
oil.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask the question, and it's actually a 2-part question. But when I ask this question, just give me one thing. You don't have to elaborate, right? No, nothing too crazy.
And then the second part, we elaborate.
You can.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first question is super simple. So if your woman or friend or whoever, significant other, takes you out on a date, where would you like to go? Or what would you like to do? How long do you expect the date to last?
Right now, today, I want to go to RH Restoration Hardware. A couple hours, you know. I don't really know like exactly, but I think that's a dope spot.
What is it? What is
What is
RH?
that?
I ain't never been.
RH Restoration is in South Park. It's pretty much a restaurant on
Looks
top of
fire.
like is it like a
it's a
furniture store or
restaurant.
something like that? Yeah, it's a high end restaurant.
But it's like
that
a
has,
restaurant, but it's a
tapas.
mix.
It's small plates. It's expensive. It's overpriced, but the vibe of it, like the decor and all that, it's beautiful.
Yeah, my nigga Newt knows some different type time.
I wanna
I'm
go
starting
there
to
too,
figure
so I don't
out, like,
blame you.
my
Asked me if I wanted to
my
go on
nigga
a
Newton
date
dainty.
where I'd want to go.
Right, now-
That's some place that I have seen
Yeah.
that I haven't been to, which I'd like to go to. Take me to RH. Hey.
For me, it's another top spot. It's over in Plaza Midwood. It's the top floor over there by by that bar that we used to go to a lot. What's the name of it?
You talking, you talking about
You said a
Workman's
date.
Bench?
What is it? What's the name of it?
We went there.
Fuck. No, it's not Workman's Bench. It's a tapas spot.
It's a sushi spot.
They sell topping, like it's just like small dishes in general. But I do fuck with the dragon roll. But I mean, like if I go outside of that, in general, like I'm.
Oh, you got one answer, nigga. That ain't what you said. One answer. You said you want some dragon rolls.
Exactly.
He ain't know his answer. So,
You want to go eat?
Bro, just let me finish my sentence. All I want
Go ahead, bro.
let that man finish his answer.
There go Soul Gastro Lounge. I just was gonna say take me to a really good sushi spot. That was
Okay,
that's where I-
okay.
Nah, that
What's
place
about to be
is
long?
by Soul Gastro Lounge.
So
that's
Soul
nice.
Gastro Lounge.
Yeah, that's nice.
To me, we could be there for an hour and a half,
That's nice. I like
and we
that.
get up out of
No,
there.
that's probably fine.
Like Soul Gastro Lounge. I'm gonna get them little wings, and I'm gonna get the little dragon roll sushi with the crab on top. You know what I mean? And I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
And I'm gonna think
honest.
like I know how to
To
use
be
the chopstick.
completely honest,
Honesty out.
yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with food.
Okay.
I don't really care on that part of it. You know what I mean? I'd rather play at the crib. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if we were gonna go somewhere, and I'm gonna say like a great date to me, and honestly, I don't want her to take me. I would want. Yeah, no, I want to do something, not sit down and eat. I would want to go and like even like Top Golf was a great idea. Like to me, that's fire. Like I like jet skiing. We go and jet ski. That's fire. Like I don't. Yeah, I want to go and do something. I don't want to sit and eat. Like to me, just sitting and eating, we gonna eat regardless. Like
So if she were to take you rock climbing, that's an active date.
yeah, like at the end of the day, that's still gonna be fire to me. Even though I don't really care for rock climbing, but if that's your decision, then I feel like okay, you trying to tap in. You know what I mean? You trying to tap in. We out. Like I'm going. You know what I mean? I'm definitely going. Like it's more of an active thing to me than food. I ain't really on that sitting down. I sit down all day.
Okay, Trey.
Nah, you just take me to a movie. We're gonna be there for an hour, and it's gonna be a great time. Like, you can take me to Chick-fil-A, and I'm out.
What? Hey, what kind of movie?
We'll see something with some action.
Okay. Did you watch Avatar 2?
Hey,
I
here's
ain't
the
seen
I
question.
don't
it.
fuck with action movies.
What's
But
what's
we ain't
better?
gotta be about.
What's better for date night? Comedy? No, I was gonna say I was gonna ask the question. What kind of movie is the best movie to go on a date? Action, comedy, rom-com? Is
It depends on the vibe, the date, and what is it for? Is it the first date? Is it like y'all been for a wild date?
Okay.
Word.
I ain't expect that question to have that many questions.
Say you was looking for an answer.
Not a question.
Tone, what you got?
I actually got a few different answers I would give, but if I had to just give one, that's why I just said if I only got to give one, I would put it at like I like comedy zone. I like comedy clubs, like watching comedy shows. That's fun.
Yeah, just
Bet you
doing
ain't
something.
going to go see Corey Holcomb with you.
Yeah.
Hey, that would be funny in person. Like
That's the mistake.
Nah, you can't go with your old lady.
old lady.
Hell no.
Don't Corey Holcomb.
Nah.
Y'all ain't never been to a Corey Holcomb show.
Yeah, I think it's material.
If your lady, you might be messed up with.
My thing though is you want to get to know her
I ain't even
first.
there yet, bro.
You gotta get to know her first.
Yeah.
You can't just get her up. Nah, you
You
can't.
gotta do so slowly.
Yeah, you gotta know, and there's some people that's never gonna fuck with Corey.
Yeah, for a fact, and that's why you gotta.
So the second part of my question, which I really enjoyed listening to everybody share, so these places that you're wanting to go on this date that you obviously enjoy, would you prefer that she pays for the date, or do you prefer to pay for the date and she pays you back?
That don't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's, but
She can't pay you back.
What does that mean?
Yeah, pay me back. That wouldn't even, like, nah, like.
Well, I guess
pay for
because
it.
like,
Leave you sell me?
yeah,
Pay you back.
That took the fun out of it.
Like, you back to like another date?
no,
No,
like,
what you mean? Like,
no. Like, okay, so you know when you go to a restaurant, the waitress will most likely give the bill to the male.
Oh,
For sure.
So, and
I'm
it's
totally comfortable sliding that motherfucker right.
No, but to go off of his point, I do think if the woman initiates the date, I think it's right that she pays for it.
Yeah, honestly, I
like you said, if she take you on a date, I thought applied was she was paying for that.
well, I've heard tradition and modern, and I don't know. The tradition
If he take
is,
me on a date that I'm paying.
but
Ideas.
tradition is the male pays for everything,
mind
right? And they take ownership of the bill. So traditionally,
yeah.
well,
I think
you want to
for
pay
me,
for it, but just so you don't kill his ego, maybe, I don't know. You
Nah,
give him the money back on the low.
I'm pretty.
and I
Modern.
guess I'm the traditional guy, so I already know where they stand on it. My thing is like, you already gotta. Honestly, you already gotta go ahead and let me know beforehand that like I want to pay for this, because naturally it's so natural for me to go ahead and whip out the plastic, like, because you know what I mean. That's just like how I've just been that way my whole life. I'm just gonna whip, you know what I mean. That's just it.
On your date?
Yeah, like period. Like, bro, that's just been how I've been. You know what I mean? I've never, like, I ain't really. Yeah, and it may be an ego thing. I don't really feel comfortable with it.
You like that?
What?
No, I mean it's what's natural. It just comes. That's what's natural to me. That's what's natural to me. What's natural to me is to go ahead and
Mind catering to my man, and I enjoy knowing
It's the trap.
if I don't tell
I want to
him.
take you on a date. You pay.
Oh, whatever. He know I don't do that.
Keep that.
But the thing is,
ready.
my expectations ain't on the. I'd rather at the crib stuff, like to pay attention to me stuff, like those more. You know what I mean? Those things. I want you to care about the other stuff. You know what I mean? That's more important to me. Spending some money, like you can go and get money back so easy. That's the easy part. I want the stuff that I want you to care about is the stuff that is not so easy. The intangibles, the caring about me as you know what I mean? Paying attention to what makes it my life easier. That stuff. I'll shoot the goddamn plastic out. That ain't that hard. You know what I mean? But still, you start talking about like, you know what I mean? It can get hard now. I ain't saying it can't get hard. It can get hard. But I just don't care so much about that part of
it. If
it.
they randomly pop up on you with like these great ideas and they mad expensive, and then at the end of the day, you just gotta be the one to pay for it afterward.
Oh,
you
yeah.
won't feel away.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
I ain't even gonna get into
introduce an idea to me, and then you just make me pay for it, even though like during this whole thing,
That shit happened 2 or 3 times in a row.
And that's why you got to make sure the conversations. There's conversations to know where a person head be at beforehand. But go ahead, my Mama Taj got something for us.
Speaking of dates, I don't know if you're like, do you remember the first time a woman took you on a date and paid for it? How did you feel? Was it an awkward experience for you? Like,
It's never happened.
oh,
Damn,
really?
it's sad, bro.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay. Was it awkward for her to pay for the bill?
No, I mean, because I had already been paying to where it was just like a return of things I had already done. So it wasn't like, it just made me feel like, okay, the last 3 times wasn't like, range. You ain't take it, gotcha. You ain't taking me for granted. So I appreciate that, because it's like, damn, all right. And it make me want to, all right, shoot, where we going to go next? I got
right.
it.
And that's a space. Yeah, to me, the answer would be no. And I think that you prerequisite this statement with the idea that this isn't the first date. I think that no matter what happens on the first date, a guy has to pay. Mm-hmm. Probably the second or third one.
Well, whoever, if I ask you out, I'm going to pay for it.
But what if she asks you out on the first joint? Like, do you want to go with me to such and such? Do you pay or she pays?
If it's the first date and I don't know this woman,
all right, dude, you answering wrong. The answer is yes, I'm gonna pay. But
my nigga say,
she wanna buy me a drink. Hey,
oh no, if she buys you, I think that's still a little different. Like an actual date, we sat down at the restaurant, we ate, and then we got it. Whatever. In general, I think as a guy, the implication of a first date is that you're going to pay. I think
it's only because the implication that guys are the ones asking on dates.
I just disagree. I think that in general, first dates, the easy part is that you should pay. It's not like it's just like I think it's just fairly simple.
Okay.
As you get into
my nigga dude like, nah, bro, I ain't got it for you. Like if you ask me,
what I'm saying is that typically, Johnny, you're gonna lose a couple points if you're not paying on the first date. Yeah. It's almost like if any and every lady.
But what if she asks me and I don't really want to go and I just
then don't go?
Okay. That's a simple.
That's the simple answer. If I don't really want to go, you're not gonna spend your money. If I don't want to go,
yeah,
I'm gonna save you your bread.
All right. I mean, shoot, I was just trying to keep it consistent.
My nigga knew. He just trying to get flued out at you, dude.
Hey,
right.
My brother Johnny want to get flued out.
Hey, I like Delta American. I don't do Spirit.
Right. I guess for me, anytime that's happened, like we've been a couple dates in though, and I never felt any kind of way. I think that in general, like once it gets to like that space, like whatever, you're cool with like some level of reciprocity because you did enough, and you put your foot forward enough in general. Mm-hmm. Typically, even with that, I'm gonna still ask like, "You sure?" You know, da. But that's my take on it. Yeah.
Everybody good. Everybody got their piece up.
Yeah.
I think this will be a good time to say, hey, follow us on Facebook at D2B Fair Show. Follow us on Instagram at D2B Fair Show. YouTube, D2B Fair Show. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button right up here in this corner.
Before we get up out of here, Johnny.
Hey, what you got, bro? All right.
Philly Chiefs.
Oh, bro, we going with the Chiefs. I ain't never put my money against Patrick Mahomes. Easy as that. I am your host, Johnny.
I'm going Eagles. Just to throw it out there.
Eagles, okay.
Friendly wagering. $5 on it.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool.
We can go a bottle if you want.
We can do that. Hey,
bottle on it.
Hey, we'll talk about it after the show. I need to get to this outro, but
yeah.
Hit the notification button right up here. I am your host, Johnny P.
Oh, here, real.
It's Q.
And we out.